the 10-8 podcast. There's a lot to cover. Yesterday I had some audio issues, but hopefully I fixed it today. So just cross your fingers, everybody. Cross your fingers. But there's a lot to cover right now, especially in this boxing game. Boots, is he a duck? Shakur calling out, what's his name, Tank. Tank's awkward press conference. There's a lot to talk about, so I bring on my favorite person, my favorite guy, the Brad Pitt of boxing talk, but right after this.
I got so much fucking design on right now. Bring it down, nigga, come out that 3 whole
My guy, what's up, brother?
What's up?
I'm good, man. It's been a busy week of boxing, Marco.
Busy week of drama, maybe.
Hold on, let me welcome the most handsome man in boxing commentary today, Marco KO.
What's up?
You gotta clap it up for this guy.
What's up?
I mean, boxing has been interesting this week. I mean, a lot of drama, like you said. I've seen some rumors. I've seen a bunch of different things. The press conference with what's his name, Gervonta Tank Davis, my best bud. You know what I mean? Showed up. Was it Wednesday? I think it was. It was Wednesday or Thursday. I don't remember. To the press conference by himself, 3 hours late in Brooklyn. No Leonard Ellerby. No Calvin.
Yeah, I didn't go to that.
You didn't? No.
I thought about it, but now I'm like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I didn't, because I would have been waiting all day.
What'd you think about the press conference? What did you think about, first of all, none of those guys being there? Ellerby, Al Heyman, Calvin. What'd you think about that and his demeanor? Because I was a little thrown off by Tank.
He seemed kind of like what he said, man. He seemed like he's fed up with boxing. He seems like he doesn't want to do it anymore. And he's the kind of guy that gets agitated. He uses his nerves, his fears, his frustrations, and it makes him angry. It makes him a better fighter, which is what Mike Tyson had going for him early on.
I mean,
then there's a point where you get older,
yeah,
right? And you stop being as angry when shit bothers you, and it starts actually bothering you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's harder to use it, I feel like, as fuel for fighting as you get older.
No, I definitely agree with you. I just felt like there was a lot transpiring because I feel like he was all over the place, right? He brought up retirement, which I spoke to a few people in boxing. They said once you start talking retirement, it kind of makes it harder to train. It makes you harder to prepare. It makes you, you know what I'm saying? It just does. You got to have a different mindset for boxing. Do you think Tank's mind is in boxing? Because he also did say he wants to go to a therapist. He doesn't want to feel like that. He doesn't want to feel like he has to kill the person. He doesn't want to deal with that for his kids. How do you feel about that? Because I think that is major going into this fight.
I don't think it's because he doesn't want to feel like he has to kill a person. I think it's I've always said this. Psychotherapy is kryptonite for boxers.
What do you mean?
What's kryptonite do to Superman?
It can kill him, actually.
Makes him weak.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Yeah.
Psychotherapy does the same thing to boxers. It's kryptonite. It makes fighters weaker. And I'm not saying it's better in life. It'll make you stronger in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for boxing, I don't care what anybody says. Now, look, there's always exceptions, right? There's always people who might be able to go through therapy and get stronger and still have that fire. But for the majority of people, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Boxing comes from anger. Now, it's controlled anger. I'm not saying go out there, because people have a problem with saying that they're mad or angry. That's right now. That's big in like the urban culture. I'm not mad. Oh, you mad? Oh, I'm not mad. Nah, I'm always calm.
Yeah.
But look at any fighter's face who's throwing a punch. Do they look like this when they're throwing a punch? No, they look like this. They're like, ugh. It's anger. It's controlled anger. Every fighter's face looks angry when they're throwing a fucking knockout punch. All of them. None of them look happy. So that's just going out to the people who might see this and say, no, never be angry. No, I'm never angry. I'm always cool and calm. You're controlled anger. And that's a good thing. That doesn't mean you're weak. We pull from our upbringings. We pull from the things that make us angry, the frustrations we have currently going on, the shit from our childhood, all that. But it's subconscious. Once therapy starts making it conscious, now you're not getting rid of your anger and frustration or fucking knocking somebody out, getting that endorphin rush temporarily, then the next day you got to do it all over again. Now you're getting it out, you're getting to the root of it, and you're starting to kill it. And the fire starts dying. Human beings are not made to be in fight or flight all the time. It is not in our temperament to always, every day, want to be fighting. It's just not. So I think he's right. I think he should stay the fuck away from therapy until he wants to retire, because I think it will affect his fire.
Now, a lot of people feel like, and I've talked to various athletes, whether it's the NFL, the NBA, and they start saying, they were telling me, once you start thinking retirement in your mind, it makes it that much harder to train 100%. He mentioned his daughters, and I forgot what box I was just watching, and he said he hasn't seen his kids in 3.5 months. He mentioned he had 2 daughters, and you have kids, I have kids. I don't know if you have a daughter, but I know I do, right?
I do.
And I know my daughter has me wrapped around her pinky. Literally. Anything she wants.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
The fact that he has double that, and he brang that up and said he doesn't want them to see that part of him, it kind of touched me. Like, I was like, damn, bro, like, I feel you. And he said he doesn't want to walk around like that. So that's why 2025 is his final year.
He doesn't want to be angry. He might snap at them. I'm not saying he hits them or anything, but he might snap at them for all, when you're angry, and it's not a good thing for anybody.
No, absolutely. But that's the thing. The desire to be that way is a different thing. He's already got money. He doesn't need to do this anymore.
He's 30, man.
Yeah.
That is the you've been there. What are you, like 62?
Shut up.
No, but you've been there. Like, once you hit 30, you start the maturity starts changing.
Yeah, you start thinking more about your children. You start thinking more about that, and I respected that. It made me a fan of him, to be honest with you, because, he also did say things like, "I don't care about belts. I don't care about that." These are things.
So,
yeah.
Do you believe that? Do you believe? Because here's what people say.
Yeah.
You either you really don't care about belts, right? You don't give a fuck about belts.
Yeah.
You care about money. You care about getting in and out, preserving. Like, he even mentioned, I don't want to keep getting hit on.
Absolutely.
And I get that. I was always worried about that. That's why I would take long breaks when I fought. That's why I never made it big. So I'm like, I'm not sparring every single day for months. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Do you believe that he doesn't care about belts? Or do you believe that he is more protecting his O?
That's a great point. I think it's a combination of both. I think he's definitely protecting his O. And as you know, the better the competition, the more you're going to get hit, the more risk you're going to take, right? And at the end of the day, I just watched, not Larry Holmes, James Toney. They showed a clip of him in 1991 talking, and they showed a clip of him today.
Yeah.
And Marco, if I'm Gervonta Davis, I never want to be in that situation where my kids got to take care of me. I interviewed.
Keep in mind, right? And I know James Toney personally. Like, I hung out with him in person. I talked to him. I have his number. He sparred every day.
Yeah.
He didn't even hit the bag. And there's footage of him saying this, let alone I think just in general. He sparred 5-minute rounds. He sparred like 20 rounds a day with like 20-second breaks, and didn't do anything else every day for I don't know how many years. So that's extreme. So I just want people to understand, like, James Toney is the way he is because he went to an extreme. Now, some fighters are also, like, Tommy Hearns is pretty slurred. Meldrick Taylor, Terry Norris. But sometimes it happens even when you're not excessively doing that. But generally, that's when you're excessively sparring and fighting. I've always said this. I'm glad Roy Jones just said it, because people don't fucking know who I am, but they know Roy. The mileage comes in sparring and training. It does not come in fights.
He did say that, yeah.
And it's true. I've always said that. People are like, "Oh, so and so didn't have any tough fights." I'm like, "It's sparring. That's where the mileage is." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And when I was coming up, it was like fucking 3 to 5 times, like almost every day sparring if you had a fight coming up.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, you know, I talk to John Iceman Scully all the time, right? And he told me like, bro, like Wilfredo Benitez, his family's taking care of him today. They literally are taking care of him.
Oh, there's a bunch.
There's a
Donald
bunch.
Curry, remember
Yeah,
him?
yeah. It's
I spoke with Gerald McCullen's sister,
mhm.
Lisa, who takes care of him. Sweet girl, lady, whatever. Um, and Gerald, same thing happened to him. And she started a fund.
Yeah,
God, I wish I remembered the fund so I could shout it out. To help fighters with damage, because there's no union, there's no health care, there's nothing for them. So there's a bunch of them out there who need to be taken care of, or who are in assisted living homes. My old trainer, Kevin Rooney, remember him?
yeah, yeah.
He is in an assisted living home. He developed very bad dementia. He's barely 60.
It's
That's
sad.
because of the head trauma.
Yeah, and that's why I like listen. A lot of people are critiquing Tank, and I'm not. I'm like, bro, like you gotta understand. When you have the love of your children, you don't want them to have to take care of you. You don't want them to be suffering like that. And I truly respected it. And if you know what, so what? I mean, in my opinion, he doesn't. Let's say he doesn't make the Hall. People don't consider him a Hall of Famer because he didn't fight the elites, right? I'd rather have my health and money and take care of my children. So I totally respect what Gervonta is saying as a man. Do you believe though he'll go through with it and say 2025 is the last year?
Yeah, but I think he'll probably come back, because if he retires next year, what is he, 31? He takes 3 years off. He's 34, 35.
Yeah.
That's totally young enough to fight. I believe he might come back. I think he will follow through. I think he might come back though.
I don't think he comes back, man. I'm just being honest. I don't think he loves the sport. I never got that feeling that he loved the sport.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, I hear you, but he has other things he wants to do. He wants to be a great dad, and bro, I used to be on the road all the time. I could not picture being away from my kids more than a day. I don't even like going to fights because I don't want to be around. I don't want to be away from my children. And I feel like Gervonta is kind of like that in that situation. But, if he does end in 2025, does he take the fights that people want to see? Because one person in particular that they keep bringing up, he seems irritable about it. And that's Shakur Stevenson. I'm going to play this response from Shakur real quick of them going back and forth about 2025. Shakur Stevenson shooting at Tank. He says, Ninja taking too long. He better not retire without this fade. Y'all gonna be some sad ass people that day. Ninja gonna be in the ring with a ghost. With a ghost. I'm from Newark. Talk that talk. I mean, Shakur wants that fight. He's calling him out. They're going back and forth. Does he take that fight, and is it enough to cement his legacy and say, listen, I'm done if he does take that fight?
I love how the people use the word ninja now.
Yeah, I just don't want to say the word. It's such an ugly word. I'm not going to lie to you. That's the reason I didn't say it.
Yeah, and eventually, you know how language works. Ninja will eventually evolve into being just as bad. And that's how it works.
Yeah, I mean,
It's true. It's true. Like, you used to be able to say the word FAG, right? You used to be able to say it as a joke. Oh, don't be an FAG kidding around. Now it's mad offensive.
Yeah.
It evolved to be mad offensive. So it's like things evolve. But I think, look, the video, I'm pretty sure mine's the only one with me and Calvin that kind of went viral, where he tells me that, they can't fight Shakur because they can't do what they do, in his Baltimore accent. You ever see that video?
With the yeah.
You seen that one with me and him?
Mm-hmm.
And that one went, it was not because of me, but because what he said, people
Yes.
like, oh, he's ducking, see. Maybe he has a point. Maybe it's like, look, we want to see it. For legacy, it's imperative.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't care about legacy, or he's also smart, Tank.
He's very smart. Yeah.
He's smart.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's promoting this Roach fight, he's trying to make us forget Roach is coming up from one weight division below him.
Again, yeah.
He's trying to make us forget that Roach has a 40% knockout ratio, which
Yep.
anybody doesn't know, like I've done, this is my official Marco boxing numbers. You go to BoxRec, you look at a fighter. If they have a 70% knockout ratio or above, they're punching, right? If they have 80%, they're excellent punching. When you find dudes with 90% or above, that's legendary status, okay? His is 40. So he's trying to make us forget all that, and what does he say? Oh, Lamont Roach has that sneaky power. I know that. Oh, so the dude who's one division below you and has 40% knockout ratio is sneaky. He wants us to be like, oh, this might be. We know he's going to wipe him out like a dry erase board.
Absolutely. But that's also affected him financially. And let me bring that. I believe a lot of what's going on behind the scenes, Leonard Ellerby not being there, or Al Heyman, or the things that he's going through, are based on the fact that he wants a certain amount of money that they don't want to pay because he doesn't want to fight the guys that are bringing checks in. And I truly believe that. People do not want to see this Lamont Roach fight. You're 100% right. Nobody on planet Earth wants to see that. We want to see him versus Tio. We want to see him versus Shakur. We want to even see him against Devin. You know, and I think that's part of what's going on behind the scenes with Tank right now, is that they don't want to pay that. And they want, he doesn't want to take the risk, of course. He wants to protect his O, like you were saying. And he's trying to sell us a lemon at this point. I mean, that's just how I feel. Am I wrong at what I'm saying right now?
In terms of?
I mean, just he's protecting his own. He doesn't want, like, in terms of, they don't want, he's running into issues because he doesn't want to take fights that are going to generate money and they're higher risk. So he's taking these fights, bringing this guy up from 130, Santa Cruz up from 126, whatever it was. I mean, you tell me.
I think he's minimizing his risk and maximizing his revenue stream.
But how do you maximize it if the powers that be don't want to pay that no more? And I think that's what's bringing the problems at this point.
Tank does not have financial problems. Tank,
No. I'm not saying he's poor. What I'm saying is he's asking for an amount. I heard there was a rumor that he asked for $40 million, and that was for the December fight, and they kind of looked at him like he was stupid. Actually, for the Lomachenko thing, that's when that fell apart.
all I know is he's going to garner, he's going to demand, he's going to get a lot of money no matter who he fights. And, he, at this point, I don't look too closely at his finances, but I'm pretty sure he's made enough money to be good for him and his family and his children and his grandchildren for the rest of their lives. So at this point, it's just stacking more layers on that tiramisu.
Oh no, I believe he's made a lot of money, but I think what he's asking for in these next couple fights, I don't think those individuals want to pay him unless he fights somebody that they believe people will tune in for. Because I don't think Lamont Roach is going to sell.
I'll tell you right now, he might not. Right, this might be like a little, but Shakur won't really sell that well either.
Better than
Because
Lamont, though. No.
Shakur won't sell. Shakur is a great fight for us hardcore fans.
Okay.
Shakur fight is not a good fan for like the earth. Ryan Garcia is a fight for the earth. God.
I think he fights Ryan Garcia though in 2025. I think that
Inoue
happens.
would be a fight because the Japanese,
Yeah.
if they, I think he's too big for Inoue. But there's so few fighters left. Yeah, that's why he fought Rolly. Rolly was the low risk, but he paid really well because of his mouth.
Yeah.
He probably would make more money fighting Rolly than he'd fight making Shakur now. Than he'd make.
You
I
think
think
so? I think a lot of people want to see him challenge himself. I think that would be the selling point. Because most people, if you're going to say who's number one and 1A at 135 pounds, it's Shakur and it's Tank. Would you agree with that?
Shakur is just not exciting to watch.
I mean, he definitely hasn't been recently. I mean, man.
He's not exciting to watch. He doesn't bring knock. And I'm not saying I agree and he's whack and he's a great fighter.
Yeah.
But knockouts are what bring money.
Absolutely.
You had a couple exceptions in history. Pernell Whitaker, Floyd later in his career wasn't really knocking anybody out, but Floyd was flashy. Floyd did all the shit that he was the first to do. I don't know why Pernell. I think that was just a different time in boxing. I think boxing was already had a captive audience then. Now we're trying to recaptivate the audience.
Yeah, I mean, when it came to also Pernell also fought like Chavez, he fought De La Hoya, he fought a lot of names that were legendary. You know what I mean? There's a difference with Pernell Whitaker as well, and he made defense exciting. He made people look terrible.
That's true. Yeah, Shakur's isn't really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Shakur does more running than defense. If you remember, Pernell could stand right in front of you, and you could throw 100 punches and not even touch him. Same thing with Floyd. Floyd would do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So to me, I think those guys make defense exciting. You know what I mean?
Shakur doesn't though.
No, he does not, and I think that is a very, very good point. But let's move forward real quick. We had history made this weekend. The legend, Manny Pacquiao, many who believe, is arguably the greatest fighter in the history of boxing. At least I do believe he's in my top 5. The only 8 division world champion finally is put into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Mark, what's up, man? Talk to me. What do you feel about that? How do you feel about the go? Where do you place Manny Pacquiao in the history of boxing?
Well, I'm gonna ignore the rumors that he has a bunch of Capri Suns. I'm gonna ignore that.
Okay.
Because we don't know. It's alleged. Mm-hmm. He started at 108 pounds. Yes, he was like 17, but he went up to 154. So he essentially went up almost 50 pounds on a 5'5" frame. So that's why all of those rumors circled. He's amazing. He was amazing, but I have 3 criteria. He's not in my top 5. I have 3 criteria for my top 5, and it's all criteria. And okay. I bet you your criteria isn't mine. 4 criteria actually. First one is I look at the fighter's primes only. Okay. I don't look at their whole career.
Okay.
2, I look at dominance.
Okay.
3, I look at accomplishment or achievements. Who you fought, who you beat, belts, all that combined. And the 4th one, I look at skill. Mm-hmm. So skill, accomplishment, dominance, and their primes. So number 1 for me is Roy Jones. With all those criteria. Nobody had more skill than Roy. Nobody had a better prime than Roy. Nobody had achievement as much, going from middleweight to heavyweight champion as Roy. And, all that. He had all that. Second is Sugar Ray Robinson. That man was 129-1 at one point.
Wow.
Yeah. And the only loss was to Jake LaMotta, who he literally beat 5 times after. Yeah. And now the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, that's interchangeable for me. But my top 2 I got solid. Those are my top 2 solid. Pacquiao was great, but he took a bunch of L's throughout his career. So his dominance, although when he was dominant, he was mad dominant, he also, lost a bunch of times. So I wouldn't put Pacquiao up there, but, there's an argument for that, for sure.
He's the only 8 division world champion. He can't.
I don't look at that. That's not...
Really? Why not?
What? So what? Because that's just showing that his body put on more weight throughout time than other people did. That's all that shows.
Who else has done that, though?
Why is that? You
don't think that's challenging yourself? You don't think what Canelo's doing, going up to 175, trying to be... You don't think that's challenging yourself, Marco?
It is. But I don't look at putting on weight and going up as better than, for example, Joe Louis, who held the title for fucking almost 12 years. Like, Joe Louis is in front of Pacquiao just for that. I don't look at putting on weight and going up. I mean, Roy Jones did that, literally did that, and looked way more amazing and never even came close to losing in his prime, besides the disqualification. So Roy's ahead of Pacquiao. I mean, Roy did that exact thing with Pacquiao. He didn't do 8, but he went, up as high as he can go. So there's people I have in front of Jack Johnson in front of him. Sugar Ray Robinson did that shit. He started at welter, went all the way up. He would have won the light heavyweight title. Ray Robinson, I don't know if you know the history, but he passed out from heat exhaustion.
Really?
He was whooping the light heavyweight champion's ass, and he passed out from heat exhaustion because they were fighting in like Thailand in the summer or some shit, something crazy. I forget where it was.
Man, I just feel like what he did with the 8 divisions, and I mean, this is one of the most exciting fighters. Never really was on the back foot or on the defensive end.
Oh, yeah.
Always going 99.9%, regardless of the size of the man. And you talking about a guy that beat Miguel Cotto, Oscar.
I remember when he signed up to fight Margarito.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was like, this dude is biting off, but he is wilding out. Margarito's about to fuck his little ass up. And obviously, we saw what happened.
Yeah.
De La Hoya, too. He beat the shit out. I mean, he fucked up every great welterweight except Floyd.
Yeah.
But like, not only beat them, fuck them up.
Yeah, I mean, and, man, it's tough. I mean, I don't think there will ever be another Manny Pacquiao. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, what he's done, bro. I remember just seeing how fearful people were of him, seeing him. Like, they were petrified, bro. And people can say whatever they want about Floyd or whatnot, and not taking away, but Floyd did avoid fighting him for many years because of how dangerous he actually was.
I disagree with that. I don't think.
Come on, Mark.
Nah.
He has a video where he says this guy must be on something. Come on, Mark.
He didn't avoid him. He just wanted him to take tests.
Okay.
That's not avoiding. That's saying take tests and I'll fight you. That's avoiding is what Canelo's doing. Avoiding is what Riddick Bowe did
Like
to
do
Lennox
not
Lewis.
talk about Canelo. I know you don't have to. Keep going.
But no, that's avoiding. Saying no, I don't want to fight. You know, and they ended up fighting. So it's not even like Floyd was not avoiding. Floyd fought everybody. And I'm not a huge Floyd fan. He kind of annoyed me.
I'm a big Floyd fan. I'm not gonna
but you got to give him props for what he was.
I love Floyd.
He fought everybody. He didn't avoid Pacquiao. He would have. Matter of fact, if they would have fought 5 years earlier, I think he would have knocked Pacquiao out. That was still Pretty Boy Floyd who was punching, if I remember correctly.
Which one?
The one 5 years earlier when the fight first started surfacing. Him and Pacquiao.
Manny? Oh, I don't even know. No, that was after De La Hoya when they really started, and that was Pretty Boy Floyd ended with Gotti. Let's be real. He ended with Gotti. That was the last time we seen Pretty Boy Floyd.
I don't remember. Was it Gotti?
I think. I mean, that was the most dominating performance I think he's ever had.
Nah, Diego Corrales might have been. No,
that was before. Diego was way
Diego
before
was
that.
before, but you're saying the most dominant. I mean,
I mean before. I mean, let me say prior to him fighting the De La Hoyas and the Cottos, he dominated in a different way later on. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, you know, whatever. I mean, I still definitely believe he's that guy. Now, speaking of ducking, okay, we're gonna.
Sean Bay Mitchell, he fucked up.
He beat up Sean Bay Mitchell.
Zab, he did not. Yeah, Zab, he was already Pretty Boy. He was already Money May, although he wasn't officially Money May. But yeah, he was more like Money May against Zab. So yeah, I guess Sean Bay Mitchell might have been the end of Pretty Boy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say Gotti because I think that was the one where it really hit. Like everybody was like, "Whoa!"
And when did he fight Pacquiao? He fought Pacquiao 2015.
Yeah.
And the talks were 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're right. He was probably he was already. You're right. He was already Money May at that point.
Let's talk. Let's go. Let's go. You diss my man, so I got to bring this up. My man Canelo Alvarez. There was rumors going around that there were negotiations for him to be fighting Bud Crawford at 168 pounds, whatever. There was a lot of people reporting this, and Canelo had this to say.
Canelo, there's a lot of articles and social media news floating around saying that you could potentially be negotiating with Terence Crawford directly for a May fight. Any truth to that?
No, I'm working in other things. Now I'm enjoying my family. I'm not talking about boxing yet. So maybe in January we wanna start doing that.
Where do things stand with Turkey? Turkey said he would like to open a line of communication with you. No middlemen, just you and him.
I never say no to business. So if it is a business for me, I'm open to talk, no matter what.
Anything else for Livingstone?
No,
I mean that to me right there. He didn't say no. He didn't say no, Marco. But he said after the holidays. And another thing, when it comes to Canelo, he doesn't really like stuff being leaked out. Do you think this fight's in the works? Do you? I mean, even Bud said something today. He goes, I can't say if it is going to happen. I don't say if it's not. I just want to face the best fighter of our generation. Marco, talk to me.
In terms of what? What's the question?
I mean, do we think this fight is actually in negotiations? Do you want to see this fight? Come on, Marco, talk to me. I know you got the inside. You hang out with Lennox Lewis. You hang out with a lot of guys, man.
I mean, I don't know. I want to see Bud fight again first. I think Bud gets beaten badly by Canelo. I don't think. I don't think it'll be. But, and I didn't think Canelo would fight him. Now I don't know because maybe.
The thing that struck me as interesting was when he didn't necessarily say no. Canelo say no very clearly, right? But he also left it open to work with Turki Al-Asik, which to me, he's like, I don't turn down business. You got something to talk about, let's make it happen. And we all know that Turki Al-Asik is behind Bud Crawford and he has deep pockets. So to me, Canelo didn't really shoot it down. When you bring up Benavidez, he doesn't bring nothing to the table. He's this. He says a lot. But when it came to this, he didn't necessarily say no. And he said he was open to talking to the Turk.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I would like to see the fight. I do think Canelo wins. I'm kind of, every day it switches for me. Is Canelo going to destroy him? I think Canelo can knock him out. But I just think Bud is really that good where he can make it the distance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, does he win? Can he take the shots that he was taking in his last fight with Canelo? I don't think so. But I don't know. I think this fight is, I really believe this fight is possibly going to happen.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows?
You don't sound excited for this fight. I love watching Canelo fight, so.
I don't really get into fights excited until I know they're happening.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
You don't play into the rumors? You don't. No.
Well, if it's happening, then we'll talk about it. Then we'll break it down. If it's not happening, it's like, especially a fight like this where you got dudes, 3 weight classes away from each other.
Well, actually 2 now. It's not
2,
3.
right?
Yeah,
technically, but so it's still 2. So it's like,
I just feel like Bud is just, and this is being honest, I think Bud, he sees the end of the road and he just wants to get that last check. And he kind of said it before that that's what he was doing. Then he kind of walked it back down and said, no, this is what he wants to do. I don't think Bud wants to fight 3-4 fights. I think he wants the one big one, and that's it. Or even if it's close and it's a rematch, you get 2 big bags. I mean, I think that's where he's going to go. And I really do believe Canelo is going to get over $100 million for this fight.
$100 million for Crawford?
I think he is. I believe so.
Unless Turkey is involved, that's not happening.
Oh, no, Turkey is going to be involved. Don't get it twisted. Turkey will be involved. I don't think he gets it unless Turkey's involved.
Yeah, then maybe. Maybe. He beats Bud like he tried to sell him a kilo of baking soda. He batters Bud Crawford head to toe like he's about to drop him in a deep fryer.
You think that bad?
He lumps up Bud's grill looking like the inside of a Jamaican beef patty. It's going to be all fucked up.
That bad? You're not giving Bud a chance?
No, yeah, of course he has a chance. It's boxing, one, and it is Bud, but size matters. Size matters. So yeah, I don't think he could beat. I don't think he beats Canelo, but you never know. You never know. I'd have to see a little more. I want to see Bud fight again at 54, see how he looks. That'll give me a more conclusive opinion.
Yeah. I just think it'll be a big mega fight. It definitely will be a big mega fight. I think this breaks 1 million pay-per-view buys, might even cross to almost 2 million. To be honest, that's just how I feel. People love. You don't think so? Why not?
Bud is not a star.
Yeah, but I think it's more so people want to see Canelo lose. A lot of people believe that Canelo will lose his fight. There's a lot of people that believe that.
Mira,
¿Qué pasó?
you need 2 to tango. All the big fights in history.
Okay.
Escúchame.
See.
All the big fights in history, you had 2 dance partners that were megastars.
Okay. I'm listening.
But Crawford, no disrespect, he's the best fighter pound for pound right now in the world, but he is not a megastar.
Damn, you're playing my guy, man.
No, it's the truth.
I really, really like Bud, man. I'm not gonna lie. I really, really like Bud, man. I want to see this fight happen. To be honest with you, just because I want people to understand that Canelo's that guy. I love Canelo. That's my favorite fighter, man. So whatever. I mean, let's move forward. Since you bring up a duck, let's bring up another duck. You call my man a duck, but there's this one guy.
Well, I said he's avoiding the fight with Benavidez, which he is.
He's not avoiding the fight with Benavidez. He wants money. He wants to get paid. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. We agree to disagree. But Boots Ennis has been called a duck all through the media and finally speaks out. Check this out.
The whole world is calling you a duck, bro. Why did it take you so long to speak out on this situation in depth?
Not gonna lie, I was hot, I was heated, and I was angry, and I reached out to everybody involved, to get down to the bottom of what was going on. And it was just a bunch of like miscommunication and things like that. And I got a great team, and I hired them to do their job. But I just felt like I was out of the loop, and that's my fault. And like from this point forward, I feel like I should be. I feel like I will be be more in tune with what's going on and more, vocal, and knowing what's going on.
Mark, how are you getting punched in the face for a living, risking your life, and you're not involved in what's going on, or do not know there's negotiations being had behind your back? When you look at his face when he called him a duck, he looked extremely agitated. What is going on with Bud Crawford? Please.
You mean Boots Ennis?
I'm sorry. I said Bud. Boots Ennis. I'm sorry, Boots.
I mean, a lot of fighters aren't involved fully. They have managers, they have advisors, they have promoters.
100%.
That's commonplace.
But negotiations being made without you being there is absolutely crazy.
Well, apparently there was no negotiations. They didn't even get a what's it called? A fight sheet, not a fight sheet.
He said they got an offer. They did say they got an offer.
Yeah,
and they
but
gave
you
him
got
like a day.
it's an offer sheet. I forget what they call it. There's a specific thing that's sent first.
Okay.
And that was never sent. And when they asked him, he kind of I saw that interview.
Yeah.
He admitted at the end saying, "No, I'm still not sure." They gave him a deadline. They say, "Let me know now."
Yes.
He goes, "I'm not sure if I want to stay at 54 or 47."
Yeah, I mean, I did see that.
So he did. So weirdly enough, he did avoid the fight because he's not sure where he went. Now, we don't know if he avoided it because he's scared to fight at 54 or he's scared of Vergil, which I don't think he's scared. But it's like his interview, weirdly enough, although we tried to spin it,
Yeah.
it is what everybody says happened. He said he doesn't want to fight at 54. Or he's not sure, is how he put it.
This is actually the rest of the interview. Let's check this out real quick.
Yeah, but that's what he says. He goes, "Yeah, well, let me just say," he's going to say, "Yeah, I was given a deadline, and I said, well, I'm not really sure if I want to stay at 54 yet."
Well,
They were
this-
like, "Let me know now." He said, "I'm not sure." Okay, well, I'm not sure means no. Doesn't mean yes.
Yeah. Hold on. This is the other clip. Hold on.
Negotiation rumors. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it was just a lot of just like false information going around, fake news. I never had agreed to fight Vergil Ortiz on February 22nd, and when Eddie called on the deadline, I was undecided whether I was going to stay at 47 or move to 54.
Why were you undecided at that point?
I was undecided because, as everybody know, I want to unify, be linear, or at least be undisputed at 147, or get my hands on one of those titles. And what nobody knows is, well, everybody know, because everybody was quote unquote calling me the email champ. So, with that being said, I never was able to, fight a world champion or take a world title from somebody. I was given the belt out of my hands. That was out of my hands. I couldn't say yes or no.
Does that kind of like take away from like what you always dreamed of as a kid?
Yeah.
I mean, he basically, I'll tell you this, he definitely listens way too much to the media. With people calling him the email champ, being handed the belt. I do believe a lot of this stuff really messes with him.
Well, I understand that. I'd want to win a belt too. I'll take it if they give it to me, but I want to win it too. But he's giving us reasons right?
Yeah.
But he still didn't want to fight Virgil.
Mhm.
So if that's a duck, then it's a duck, whatever. I think I never call these ducks. Usually it's Riddick boat ducked, okay? Certain people, but it's business decisions for whatever reason. You want to unify? I don't. What does fighting Virgil give him? Doesn't give him a belt. Gives him a bigger challenge in a different weight division. Maybe I'm not. I get it. If he doesn't want to fight him.
No, I mean, it's kind of. I think he's kind of lost in this situation. I don't think he actually knows what he wants to do, and I feel like he is allowing the media to get to him, and even in his last two fights, right, or the last one that we just witnessed, I felt like he was not the usual Boots that we saw. He's taking a lot of shots. He's trying to over-impress. They're trying to make him a star, and I feel like he's stuck in a bad way. I don't think unifying at 147 pounds is going to make him a star. I'm going to be honest with you. I just don't feel that way.
No, it's not. But maybe he wants to be a unified champion. I mean, everybody has goals. But, is going to fit, maybe going to 54, there's a lot more talent. You have even dudes but you have Charlo, Spence, if they're still fighting, Bud, Fundora, Tim Zhu, what the fuck's his dude name? Lubin, who am I missing? Madrimov, the other dude who just stopped Zhu, what's his name?
I can't say none of those guys' names. Don't even ask me.
Mekahani Hovov. You have it's so much talent up there. In welterweight, what do we got? Stanionis?
Okay. What's the guy's name? Brian Norman Jr.
Okay. So
Barrios.
So, if you want to build your legacy, you probably need to go to 54. Or look, it depends what his weight is. I don't think he can make 47 too much longer. He's 5'10". He's a big kid.
Yeah.
But if 47 is his natural weight, fuck it, stay there. You don't I know you just proved to everybody that you're big on moving up in weight. That's a big deal to you. To me, that doesn't matter. To me, matters is go where your body is, where you're going to be the strongest and the most effective, and stay there.
Well, I think he runs into this issue, and just being honest, I think there is pressure for him to become a star, right? And Brian Norman Jr. and these other individuals at 147 aren't going to make him a star. Now, if he gets a Ryan fight at 147, that propels him to the next level. I even believe if he fights the most entertaining man in boxing today, Blair the Flair, okay, I believe that would be a big fight, especially for people that like the BS. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Blair's a good fighter.
Why doesn't nobody want to fight Blair? Can you please tell me?
Because I don't think he's one fight away from being a star.
I think he's a star now.
He's not yet.
He's a big victory away. Okay, I get it.
Yes.
Okay.
But nobody wants to give him that opportunity. They don't want to be the stepping stone. Because as it stands right now, he's not. Nobody really knows him. Mm-hmm. He's not gonna draw a lot of fanfare.
I think he will. Blair is listen. If you put Blair on that stage, listen. I didn't care about the Adrian Broner fight, but when he showed up and he bring that stupid doll and did all that other stuff and entertained the crowd, I think that'll be times 10 versus Boots.
It will.
Yeah.
Well, Boots is another one. Boots is like Bud. Boots is subdued personality, quiet homebody. He doesn't sell. His skills sell, but unfortunately, you need personality and skills to be a megastar.
Yeah.
You just do. And that's too bad because that's the difference between the NBA. This is why we need a league.
Yeah.
We need a league that puts all the promotion dollars in it and makes every NBA player is a star. Mm-hmm. All the good ones. Yeah. Doesn't matter if off the court they're quiet, if off the court they talk more.
I actually prefer them to be more quiet off the court.
I mean, the ones who talk more, like Dennis Rodman over the years, get more famous, but they're all stars because it's the league that's promoting it and putting it in all of our faces.
Yeah.
Boxing, there's no league that does that for you. Even the promoters don't even. You have to do it for yourself.
I mean, Eddie Hearn is kind of doing it. He's kind of doing the talking for Boots. That's why I think Blair would. But so you saying that Blair is too much of a risk to fight at 147? You believe that?
Well, yeah, because
A risk
Boots
for Boots,
now
yeah.
Boots now wants to either Boots is kind of feeling how Bud is. They either want big money fights or stardom, fight big names. You know, like fight a Conor McGregor or fight a champion. You know what I'm saying? Like Conor McGregor isn't a champion, but he's big money. He's going to get more eyeballs. It's
Yeah.
going to increase.
He's a movie star. Yeah.
Or you fight a champion who will build. You want to build legacy or bank or both. Blair doesn't do either of that.
I love Blair the Flair. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I do too, and I hate saying that, but somebody has to give him a shot though. It's like, hey, look at me. I want to commentate on ESPN. I want to commentate on DAZN.
You should.
But nobody's giving me a shot.
You're gonna get the shot
because they don't know me. I'm not big. Once I get on that stage, I know I'll do well. But how do I get on the stage when I'm? It's like a catch-22, double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You gotta have a name to get on the big stage.
Yeah.
But how do you get a name if they won't let you get on the big stage to make the name?
We're gonna get you that name, Marco. You're the best. I'm telling you, you're the best at this. Well, we're gonna say this. So, if Boots doesn't take that 147, that's the route I think he should take. It's fighting Blair. I think that would be a very interesting fight, especially for social media, for everything that you need to build the stage to make a big fight. Now, the next thing is to go to 154 to fight all of the Lions. I think everybody's at 154. I think that's the biggest risk. And I don't think the notoriety would be as big if he was to fight a Ryan. I think the risk is greater than the reward at 154. Do you agree with me or do you disagree?
The risk is greater than the reward at 54.
Yeah.
No.
If he's not going to fight, Bud's not going to fight him. That's the biggest fight he can get at 154.
Bud won't fight him, but he could fight another champion at 54. Of another champion, I forget who are the belt holders, but they would fight him.
Fundora
would probably fight him.
You have Bud. You have... And who the other stuff? I'm trying to think who else.
What was that?
Jeez, I forgot. Anyways, I just think that... I think Ryan... Like, me personally, if I was his camp, I would try to get the Ryan fight. I don't think he's going to get the Ryan fight because I think Ryan's going to fight Tank and he's going to do some other stuff. But I don't know, man. I would like to see him dominate. I think Bud has the skills to be great at 154. I just believe so.
We're going to see. We're going to see what happens.
I don't know, man. Marco, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get you on that big stage. We're going to put... You and Paulie need to be standing next to each other. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I like Paulie. You don't like Paulie?
I do too, but I don't know if... I don't know... I hear my daughter screaming, sorry. I don't know how well we would mesh. Like, I don't... he's a very... I don't know. I'm not saying we wouldn't, but it's hard to tell if you get chemistry with somebody until you work with them.
That's true. Me and you could work, I'm telling you. Me and you... I mean, look at it. You're handsome. I'm ugly. It works. It works.
Ebony and ivory.
Exactly. All right. Who fights tonight? Navarrete fights tonight versus Oscar Valdez. What do you got?
That's tonight? I thought Hitchens is tonight with Power.
Oh, it's Saturday. They both fight tonight. I think they both fight tonight, no?
Yeah, I guess so.
I think so. I'm not sure. All right, so Hitchens versus Paro. Who you got?
I got to go with Paro.
Really? You got Paro over Hitchens?
I mean, they both don't have any power. Hitchens is not a southpaw, right? He's conventional?
I think so. I
don't know. Paro's southpaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, actually. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I haven't seen enough of Hitchens. I got to watch. I'm going to look a little more. I haven't watched Hitchens in a while, so I shouldn't say that. I think Hitchens is a lot taller, right?
Yeah, he's definitely the bigger guy.
That might make a difference, the size. I don't know yet. Actually, I don't want to say Paro because, let me come back to you on that one.
Navarrete and Oscar Valdez. I like Navarrete. He's exciting, man.
I guess Navarrete. I think Valdez is kind of at the end of his career.
Now, and I know you got the kids. I got to ask you one more that was presented at the Jake Paul fight, right? This could be the biggest, literally the biggest fight in terms of two people that big. Shaquille O'Neal versus Gronk. Who do you got?
Well, Shaq is my man,
Okay.
and I'm going to ask him. And matter of fact, if he fights, I'm going to do my best to be involved in Shaq's corner somehow.
You gonna be Shaq's corner?
I'm going to do my best to try.
Okay.
Who the fuck is Gronk?
you don't know. You don't know.
No. I heard Shaq talking about on his podcast, I want to fight Dwight Howard or Gronk, and I don't know who Gronk is.
I think Dwight Howard would be more of a grudge match because Shaq has not had too many pleasant things to say about Dwight Howard.
Yeah,
Gronk,
but Shaq is smart. He's like, Dwight's like 5-6 years younger than me. I don't know.
he's built like a tank, but Gronk is about 6'5", 6'6". He's arguably
Dwight
one of the
Howard-
greatest tight ends of all time.
Isn't Dwight Howard fruity? No, wasn't there that thing? That was him, right?
Yes, that was him. But that's besides the point,
was
Mark.
cutting
This
slices
is
out of
what's
the
going to get
fruitcake?
you kicked off of the big stages. You can't say that shit.
No, it's okay to be fruity.
You
I'm just
can't say
asking if he
fruity.
was the one. You can say fruity.
No, you cannot. You cannot refer.
No, I said, doesn't he like Christmas fruitcakes?
Oh,
It's Christmas.
if anything's going to keep you off the air, it's
Okay.
that. You can't say that, Marco.
Okay.
So you got Shaq.
Yo,
beating Gronk.
if people heard the way you talked off air, they fucking.
Oh, it's off the air. What are you talking about?
Okay.
So Shaq, that's but Shaq is actually like trained. I think he's done like MMA. He's done a bunch of different things.
I'm watching them mostly fight because I'm breaking it down now. Shaq has a very quick first explosive, like just like in basketball. You're a basketball fan, right?
Absolutely, Shaq is the
How he
first of
used
all.
to just go up, explode up, bang, and banging on you, man.
Yeah, pause. Yeah,
See, I don't do it. But his first move, his first step against Mosley was he hit Mosley, who's 200 pounds lighter,
Mosley's 5'7", dude, 5'8",
5'9" technically.
Shaq's 7'1".
Yeah, he's about 2 inches shorter than me. But the point is, Shaq having the speed to be able to actually land on somebody so much smaller and faster. Shaq's very explosive his first, but then after that, he gasses out quick. It's like the first is explosive, and the second one is like of mice and men. Like
Gronk is probably at least 15 years younger. Right?
Who is Gronk? What's his?
Okay,
what's
so
he do?
Gronk is one of the greatest tight ends to ever play football. He's also known for the wild parties and
Okay,
the
so you
dancing.
can say tight end, but you can't say pause with that one.
That's a position. You call the guy
Exactly.
fruity. Wait, what are you said fruity?
Exactly. That is a position.
Jesus Christ, I can't believe you said that. It's a position on a football team. Well, Gronk is known for being...
What's his real name?
Rob Gronkowski. He's probably from where
Rob?
you're from.
He's a white dude?
Yes. You never see Rob Gronkowski?
Is he American?
Gronkowski don't sound American, but he's... I
No,
think
but
he's
does
born
he have
over
an
there.
accent when he speaks English?
Yes, he's not like Lomachenko or Usyk. He's from over here. He's like a wild party dude. He's
I've never heard of
great.
him.
You don't watch football?
I just watch basketball and boxing. I don't watch football, baseball, none of that.
He played with arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. He's
Tom Brady?
Yes, he was his tight end. Pause. You're gonna make me keep saying pause.
Well, you're talking about tight ends. I can't say fruity, but you can say tight ends.
That's a position. I cannot
Exactly. Why are you talking about positions?
So you got Shaq beating Rob.
I don't know. I have no idea. Does Gronk, has there been footage of him boxing, hitting bag, pads, anything?
No, there's been footage of Rob Gronkowski like knocking down shots and dancing and stuff like that. I don't know.
Why do
about
they want to
boxing.
fight? Do they have beef or it's just friendly?
No, they were at the Jake Paul fight, right? I've seen a Rob Gronkowski interview on what show was that? With my man, I forgot his name, and I love this guy too. He's the receiver he played for the Patriots. Anyways, they were doing an interview, and they asked him about the fight. And he said, yeah, I'd fight him. I would fight Shaq. He goes, and they asked him, how did it happen? He's like, yo, just bring him up randomly. They were actually sitting next to each other at the Jake Paul Tyson fight, and Shaq just sporadically said it. I don't know if he caught him off guard, and he said he'd do it. And they asked him, he goes, it's about money. I think he said he wants like $14 million to fight Shaq. Shaq got it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I think Shaq should stick to people his own age.
I mean, look, think about the possibility of a card, though. Le'Veon Bell is boxing, right? He just knocked out, you don't follow football. He knocked out Adrian Peterson.
I think he follows me or he's commented on my videos.
Le'Veon Bell, yeah, he's one of the greatest running backs of all time. Listen, any football guys, just tell me and I'll tell you who they are. He knocked out another one of the greatest, probably top 5 running backs of all time, Adrian Peterson. They're talking about a rematch. I think this could be good. Shaq basically was saying it could be an all-athlete card. Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, you know Ocho Cinco, right? He said he wants a fight. We got Ocho Cinco, we got Le'Veon Bell, we got Adrian Peterson, Rob. I would actually pay to see this. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see this. And yo, Le'Veon Bell could punch, dog.
Okay. I don't know who. I mean, I gotta go with my man Shaq, but I don't know anything about this Gronk dude.
But you'd rather see Shaq versus
Dwight.
I had to switch cameras because I was not laughing. Why'd you call him? I like Dwight Howard, man.
No, but didn't he get caught?
Yes, yeah.
And but he never admitted it, right? Or did he admit that he?
I really don't know. I think he's one of the greatest defensive players of all time. I don't care what he does.
What happened again? It's something like with I forget what happened even.
Something crazy. But all right, so let's stick to the Rob Gronkowski thing.
Okay.
So, all right, Shaq versus Rob Gronkowski.
Why are you so uncomfortable with fruity stuff?
I don't want to get. I want you to be on the zone.
Okay.
Okay. I want to make it on the zone. I want to be your partner on the zone. Not like that, but you know what I mean. You know, I think we got good chemistry. Not like that. Not like that though. You know what? Shaq should hire you to do the commentary at that event. But you're gonna be biased. You're gonna be like, oh, Shaq this.
Nah, the problem and that's the problem. All jokes aside, is like there's so many bigger names that he knows. Like he would bring in Snoop Dogg, who, no disrespect to Snoop, but I would do a billion times better commentary than Snoop. But people want to hear him because he's Snoop, so I can't compete with that.
See, I'll tell you this: when it comes to Shaq, though, I think he's broken a lot of stars. He's promoted a lot of comedians that maybe didn't have the exposure they did. I think Shaq is more so willing. If Shaq is building a relationship with you, I guarantee you that he would. And I don't know Shaq. I've never had a conversation with him. I'm a big fan of Shaq. I think he's arguably, I don't know, he's the greatest center of all time. I got him as a top 5 player ever. Between him, Tim Duncan, Kobe, Jordan, they're my top 5. But to be honest, I think he would. I think he'd mix it up. Like, you can't have Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart. You got to have Snoop Dogg and somebody that knows what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is.
Hopefully.
But, you know, if it does happen, it happens. But I know you got your family with you. I definitely appreciate you taking your time coming on. Marco, the Brad Pitt of boxing commentary. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, man. Dang, you ain't had to cut me off like that, bro. That was foul. That was foul. After you try to get me banned from the airwaves, calling people fruity. All right, brother. I'll holler at you, my bro.
Peace out, man.
All right, that's my man Marco. Shout out to Marco, everybody. That guy is great. He needs to be on the zone or one of these things. But I definitely appreciate y'all coming in. For some strange reason, this shit worked today. I'm working out all the kinks. Thank you guys for tuning in. You know, I'm trying to figure out some of these nuances. I'm running a whole new program. But so far, so good. There was no glitches today. I fixed some things in the background. That was super dope. The title says John Iceman Scully on Twitter. That's not it. That was supposed to be saying Marco. But I'll fix that later. But I definitely appreciate you guys coming on today. Everybody that tuned in, we got over 100-something people in here. I think. Something like that, yeah. I hate when it doesn't show what it's supposed to show. It really irritates me. But tonight's going to be a big night of boxing. Make sure you guys tune in. There's a lot of stuff going on tonight. Again, appreciate y'all. This is the 10-8 podcast. It's your boy Norbs. And have a good day.
I got so much fucking design on right now. Bring it down,
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and hit the notifications button.